Please take your seats quickly, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you.
Hi guys, and welcome to oneminutetennis.com. In today's session, I want to explain in more detail the kinetic chain. I want to explain the kinetic chain of the body and the kinetic chain of the arm, and how you can apply these kinetic chains in different ways to really get the maximum power you can out of your body and out of your strokes. Now, in the forehand stroke, there are two distinctly different kinetic chains which you can use together or which you can use separately. The first one is the overall movement of the body, the arm and the racket. And whereas in the past, 30, 40 years ago, the players would swing with the racket, then the arm and then the body leading from here, in today's game, the players are making the movement with the body first. So we initiate from the core, from the hips, from the chest. So the body first, and then the arm is pulled through. If I remove the racket, it's easier to see. Body, then arm, body, then arm, and then the racket is pulled through by the arm. So it's body, arm, racket. And then if you're loose enough, and if you're free enough and relaxed enough, not easy to do, then from contact, the racket will accelerate through. It'll already be accelerating, and it'll accelerate through and then pull the arm and then pull the body. So it looks like this. We have body, arm, racket, and then racket, arm, body. And that's the overall kinetic chain of the forehand stroke. But within that, we have the arm action, and there is another kinetic chain within the arm. And this is shown sometimes. There are many players with different playing styles. So Nick Kyrgios, for example, when he really, really hits the forehand hard, he does not use a body, arm, racket kinetic chain. He uses the arm alone. But still, there is a kinetic chain. You see, again, going back to tennis from the past, then if I isolate the body, still it's racket, then arm. But what Kyrgios does, and many of the players, when they really accelerate through with just the arm, is they try to use the maximum number of links in the kinetic chain of the arm and the racket. So let me explain what that means. If I had a piece of a chain, just one link, and I tap it on my arm here, I'm barely going to feel it. If I use the same energy to initiate the hit on my arm, and now I have two pieces of chain, and it might sting a little bit. If I have three pieces of the chain, and again the same amount of energy, and now that's going to hurt. And if I have four pieces to the chain, again the same amount of energy initiating the hit, and that's going to really hurt. The increase in power that this chain is receiving is exponential. It's not linear, releasing more and more energy with the same energy initiating the movement. So now, just isolating the arm, let's look at the different links in the chain of the arm. I'll move in this direction so you can see better. I'm going to isolate the upper arm from the shoulder. I'm going to isolate the forearm. I'm going to try and isolate the hand, so I have to have a very, very free grip on the racket, a loose grip, but also a very free grip, a live grip. And then I'm going to isolate the racket. So now, as I swing through here, now I'm not initiating with the body, but I'm swinging with all four parts of the arm moving in separate directions, free of one another. See how the upper arm is just moving forwards. The forearm is moving forwards and then pulled across. The hand is turning or pronating, and the racket is moving in different directions to the hand. 1, 2, 3, 4 links. Just the same as the energy that's created by swinging a normal chain. Now, tennis looks more beautiful when we play with body, arm, racket. I've never seen Roger Federer isolate his arm in the way that Kyrgios does. But it doesn't mean that that's not effective. Rafa Nadal very often uses the kinetic chain of the arm much more than he uses the whole kinetic chain of the body, the arm, and the racket. So how does that help you? My experience is that if we're learning the game from scratch, or if we're teaching young players, it's essential to concentrate on the movement of the body, the arm, and the racket. This has the maximum return of power with the minimum amount of effort. But if you're an older player who's trying to change the playing style from an old-fashioned classic forehand into the modern forehand, then very often you'll get much better return by concentrating on the kinetic chain of the arm rather than trying to change everything and get the kinetic chain of the body and the arm all together. I hope this makes sense. We get a lot of questions about the kinetic chain, and I thought I would try to clear this up in this video. I'd love to know your thoughts and comments on my description and explanation of the different kinetic chains of the forehand stroke. If you want to practice this or any other of our ideas, have a look at our partners playyourcourt.com. They send coaches and they find practice partners of your level in your area for your local courts. So if you need somebody to practice with, then they're the guys for you. The membership is inexpensive and there's a 50% discount off their membership right now. The link to that is in the comments section below. And if you like our unusual perspective on tennis and think that maybe we could help take you to the next level, have a look at what online coaching can do for you now. The information's in the website and we're helping players of all ages, all levels and all over the world. If you're able to use one or both of these kinetic chains, you'll find that your forehand has more spin, more speed, more power, more consistency, and yet maybe even less effort. Thanks for watching and see you next time for more unique tennis lessons that really work.